Hello, I'm Aidan Botticello. My first story with Logan. Come on. My first interaction with Logan was during middle school, and he had come up to me, and the first ever thing he said to me, this was 7th grade, he asked, what computer system was better, Mac or Windows? And I didn't really know or really care exactly. Can't remember what I answered, but from there on out, I was like just intrigued by this man. Then 8th grade comes around, we have more classes together, and we talk. But we still didn't, actualize a friendship or anything like that. It was just, we were acquaintances. Oh, fuck. Okay, let's try this again. Anyway, so, after 8th grade, we ended up going to the same high school as well. Okay, again, take 3. Okay, so we get in the same high school, and after we get in the same high school, we had every single class together freshman year. That's where I really got to know Logan. And he always had a fascination with public transit, specifically subway, metro, always singing its praises, especially in Europe and where he's from, London, the UK, England, I should say. Yeah, and he's my guy, If there's a situation in my life that's an unfortunate situation, I know I can always look to him for comedic relief. He's always funny, always really you can just always talk to him about anything. Always able to hold a conversation. Just really interesting guy in general. And I don't think a lot of people can see that or appreciate that, but I know I can. And, all these wacky stories aside, he's a pretty genuine human being, and he is himself all the time. That is his greatest strength, and he's just always himself. That's something I can always appreciate, because it's not easy to be yourself all the time. Okay. Alright, go ahead, Logan.
So, if you want to, about my living situation. About my living situation, previously, I used to tour around Europe a lot. I grew up in London for quite a bit, the outskirts. Sorry.
What?
So, yeah, about my living situation previously, before I moved to America, I toured all over Europe quite a bit. You name it, France, England, Ireland, Scotland, Denmark, Sweden. But at where I lived, Clapton, which was the outskirts of London, I would most frequently travel to Waterloo there'd be a lot of markets during that time, like during business hours. It was pretty like wonderful, artisan, just everything felt so independent and self-made. And it also had that like kind of had that, I don't know what you'd call it. Didn't feel like a fake sort of cheap plastic setup.
How about the transport over there, like
The transit?
trains and whatnot?
Oh, they're pretty good. Some are more discreet than others. Like, some entrances are more discreet. They don't have, like, elevator access. I mean, like, unless it's, like, if you go into a building. But something I should mention is that in LA, I've noticed that they make their elevators known.
Right.
There's a lot more walkways, like moving walkways.
How is it? How would you compare the transportation to Los Angeles in England and whatnot? Just like general vibes of the train and
like the vibe of the train, it's mostly the same. You just kind of like see a lot more like. Well, we've got our own little like immigration situation. A lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Indians, you name it. It's pretty much the same in that respect.
Right.
In Los Angeles, it's just Mexicans here and Armenians. If you go up Glendale.
Oh no.
So. Oh, and Japanese and Koreans.
Right, but like, how's the public transit?
How is the public transit?
Yeah.
Well, it's less frequent in LA. It's over here it's less frequent, but in London, it's got. How do I describe it? It's got a very old-timey feel. Some stations are a lot more custom-made, and they kind of have the freedom to do it because they've pioneered this since when, like the 1800s. Like Los Angeles only started since like the 80s. So I don't know what to tell you beyond that.
Okay, Logan, tell me about the public transit in the UK and Europe.
Okay, so
And if you had to suggest a line, what would you suggest?
well, as an Englishman, a former one at least, I would recommend the Channel Tunnel by Eurostar. It is the gateway to the rest of Europe by land, and by land, I mean underground, under the channel, which is pretty nuts if you think about it. But, yeah, I'd mainly recommend, like, it may be a bit cliche, but I'd recommend the Rome line. That's pretty fun. And Venice. Not much for the ride, but for the payoff. Make sure to go around, say, like spring, winter time, when the tides aren't rising over there. But another preach that I must give to the European Metro is Line 8 in Paris. That's a pretty good one, very touristy. It doesn't take you to the Eiffel Tower, but it does take you to the Louvre, and it takes you to the regional rail that takes you to the airport. You don't need cars. That's kind of what I wish for Los Angeles, and I guess by further extension, the rest of Southern California. I wish for it to be easier, Like, I wish for it to be just as easy as it is to travel across Italy, Germany, France, and Spain.
How long would it take for you? How long would it take for you to travel all over England?
All over
Like
England?
from top to bottom.
From
top to bottom.
Okay, so if we're talking about just England itself, excluding Scotland,
Yeah.
so it would take about, I don't know, about good 4 hours. They don't have like an actual like.
Do you have to use a car? Do you have to use a car for that?
You don't have to. It's just more practical to use a car in this situation because England, out of all the countries in Europe, is struggling to buy. It's struggling to build or commission a high-speed rail system. There is no actual high-speed rail system, and just so like we're on the clear, like high-speed rail entails something faster than 180 miles an hour,
Right.
or 220 or 240 kilometers per hour.
Right. Well, thank you, Logan.
No worries.
We've arrived in New York City. The subways here are very intricate and take you to a lot of different places. We currently are in Manhattan and heading to Lower Manhattan. There's multiple different trains. They each will take you to different places of either Manhattan and up to the Bronx to Brooklyn and even New Jersey. The systems are indicated by the blue, red, yellow, gray line, and among others, also numbered and lettered. Unlike Los Angeles, these lines don't really have names. It's either 42 or 52, or you're going to this certain street. But the lines are pretty helpful as you're getting through and navigating to New York. In the beginning, it was more complicated for me, as I'd never been to New York, but so far I have been able to navigate through the subway pretty easily. It's currently 8:30 p.m. in New York. We're around 3 hours ahead of Los Angeles. When I entered New York, I thought it would be more of a culture shock. I came in thinking it was going to be this big thing that was going to really be different. But so far, it feels the same. I don't feel much different. Honestly, kind of feels like home. We took a ferry to Brooklyn, and the ferry is very cheap. Though the subway in Los Angeles, it's $1.90, I think, $1.75 maybe. I can't remember exactly. But in New York, it's $3 to get on a subway. I believe it's just higher prices because there's over 150 systems. But I mean, that would make the most sense to me. But it's pretty pricey. So while I'm here, I got their card. I got their MTA cards instead of, it's their version of TAP in New York. And like I said, the train system, the subway, takes you everywhere. Though when you go down, it is like 130 fucking degrees inside the subway. So it is pretty humid and hot. And apparently you're not allowed to film in some of the systems. Yeah. I feel like Logan would really like New York. I know he would. I gotta take him here sometime. It's kind of his place. It's like his perfect city. He'd love the subway system. Yeah. I have talked to him about it. He's kind of jealous.
Ain't got no motherfucking food.
We gotta plan something, I guess.
Another thing about New York is they love doing cocaine here. So I have a rich friend who gave me some, and how can I offer me some? How could I resist? But the thing is, he's rich, I'm not. So we're using a tenner here. We're also using my AAA card too. And in New York fashion, we're in a laundromat too. This is Brooklyn for you. Ah, fuck. Yeah. That's good.